everyone, it's Maria. I bet you thought you wouldn't see me for a while. I have been on hiatus this summer, which I really desperately needed, but I'm really excited about some of the things that I came up with doing for the next school year. Most homeschooling moms will tell you that it doesn't feel like the beginning of the year until August, and I'm getting close to feeling that way. So I will be setting some new goals for the channel, for my homeschool, for my reading, and I'm super excited to share those with you. But today I am going to share with you all of the things that I did this summer instead of filming videos. Ta-da! So first up, I will tell you that I counseled middle school camp for a week. It was pretty great. A lot of people probably think counseling middle school camp sounds horrible, but they're not my kids, so I don't feel as pressured, and they think I'm a lot cooler because they're not my kids. I will say that the tricks to waking a cabin of middle school girls up without whining is number one, turn on music, just nice music, a little peppy, within a few songs, then turn the lights on. I had no complaints from anybody. As far as putting them to sleep, middle school girls also enjoy being read to. I just said, hey guys, I have a chapter book I'm going to start reading. If you guys hate it, let me know and we'll change it out. I gave them full permission to tell me we can dump the book and change to something else if we wanted to, but they really enjoyed it. It was really funny because it was Rainy Nightingale by Kate DiCamillo, which I really loved her other books that I've read. This one was not as strong, but it was funny. It took a little bit more time to get going, I think. There are three main characters, three girls who are trying to kind of find their way in the world in the 70s during the summer, and so I thought it was a good read for camp. I did not read it prior to camp, which was a gamble, but I did read all the reviews. For each of the different characters, I had different voices, which was super fun. Louisiana, one of the main characters, at the beginning of the week had a little bit of a southern drawl to her voice, and by the end of the week, she was all out, like as southern as I can sound. So that was really funny. I really enjoyed doing that for the kids. So that is, yeah, I did flying squirrel. I did attempt to climb a rock wall. It was really fun as far as the rock wall goes because one of my campers who I had last year, he's in my family group, so he's one of my guide campers. He had a huge fear of heights, very big fear of heights, and I knew that going in, but he said that if I tried climbing the rock wall, then he would try, and I knew I was not going to get anywhere near the top at all. I think I got maybe 30% of the way up, but he made it all the way up to the top, survived several panic attacks on the way, and it just like grasping on to there's like a wood thing right before you zip line, and he made it through the zip line. So that was awesome to get to see some kids that I've been working with for several years work on some of their fears. So that is the first thing that I did. The second thing that I did was started painting all of the wooden chairs in our house. I listened to a podcast last year, and I was talking about how to make your house more cohesive. And so the colors that I love are like this robin egg blue and red, like cherry red. And so I thought, how can I get this in more parts of the house? So I'm slowly making each part of the house more of that. So this is the color blue. I've got you guys will see. I've got tons of chairs that I'm in the middle of painting. I have not finished yet. They'll have a little bit at the bottom, so I need to go over. But I did that. Next up, I moved a lot of furniture around. I am still desperately trying to convince my husband that we can stay in the smaller house for the long haul and survive even with the kids intact. So we kind of moved some things around. My daughter got upgraded to a twin-size bed that actually has a trundle underneath it. But moving her bed into her room then meant that we had to move furniture out of her room because it was too crowded, which then meant we moved it in here into like our front room homeschool area, and then I had to switch everything around. So now we have a reading chase right by the window. We have this smaller table here in the middle of the room, and we have a dollhouse over there that I got from my grandma that I was not going to be able to part with a table with board games underneath it. So we kind of moved a lot of things around. We're still kind of shuffling some things. I told him I have 5 months to convince him that we can stay, and I'm working on it hard, so we'll see how that goes. Next up, I did a lot of reading, not as much as I would like, but I did do some. A lot of it was kind of prep work to get me in the mood for school. I'm still in the middle of a few different books, which I will show you in the next video, but I really got a lot of some fun reading done, which I appreciated, and we're getting ready to have some more vacation time with family, so I will get to do some more reading then. So the next thing I did was plan homeschool. I got out my handy dandy spreadsheet. I'm still kind of figuring out how I want to print or store the information, but I have all the subjects that I want to do, as well as field trips and extra multimedia resources and read aloud books, all listed on a spreadsheet with the dates and everything. This year, I want to adventure more is my homeschool goal going in. So I want to do more projects and I want to do more field trips and just really try and enjoy the adventure part of homeschool this year. So we'll see how that goes. I'll share more in the videos upcoming about what I want to do with switching out some of our homeschool routines to make them more fun. Next thing was not very fun. We had a medical diagnosis, which I'm not going to share a lot about, but it did kind of change how I looked at life, and I wanted to share a little bit about that because I can do that without breaching too much privacy. I guess I never really had much medical stuff going into the world. I'm pretty healthy, and so anytime a close family member or friend gets diagnosed with something that is life-altering, it really kind of hits, but this one hit really hard, and it started making me think about how intentional I need to be about my choices, where I put my resources, where I put my time and my energy, which was probably one of the reasons I needed to take a step back from YouTube to see if I missed it and see if it was still scratching the itch of sharing my life that I wanted to do. It prompted some decision making about Facebook, and I'm going to be trying to take a step back from Facebook, only checking in once a week to see about groups and things that I need to be a part of. But for Facebook, instead of doing that, I'm going to be instituting a monthly newsletter from my family to go out in the mail to people about what's going on in our lives. With that, my kids will be able to help edit and work on as a writing project. So I'm trying to just slow down a little bit, and while this medical diagnosis was by no means fun, it did make me think a lot about choices that I'm making. So that was, I guess, a good thing. Next up, I helped my kids attend and get better with swimming. So my eldest has been in swim team for the last year and also wanted to do summer swim team, and my middle child had finished up some swim lessons and wanted to try out summer swim team, which is a little bit lower key. Their meets are not as intense. And then my youngest, my 3-year-old, also wanted to do swim lessons, her own swim team. So I was at the pool a lot, which is why I'm this tan. 9 to 12 every single day for about 5 weeks, including some evening meets. So it was really cool to see my kids get better at some things. My middle child is now very comfortable in the water, which last year I literally had to pry him off my body and throw him in the pool. So big changes there. My eldest really impressed me. They did a swim-a-thon where they had to swim as many laps in the pool as they could. They were 25-yard pool, I think. He did 74 laps in an hour, which blows my mind that he was able to do that. Because, several years ago, I also had to pry him off of me and throw him in the pool. There's hope, people. There's hope. We'll see how this goes with the third kid, but she might be better. She'll probably at least be better than her brothers were. So that took up a lot of my time and energy. I'm not sure if we're going to do it next year or not, but they really did enjoy it. Next, I got my in-laws settled into their new house in town. They're about 9 minutes away from us, which is a very big change. I've been able to have my mother-in-law come over and help the kids with different things, as she helped my eldest sew a little Goomba pillow from Mario, which was fun. And I know she's really excited about getting to sew summer dresses for my 3-year-old. So yeah, so that's been good, but it's also been a shift in our daily life. I helped sew pillows for high schoolers that are going to a youth conference that they go to for our church. So I did a lot of sewing this summer and helping high schoolers feel comfortable using a sewing machine, which was pretty adorable. I also got to teach them that sometimes mistakes make the best little accidents. So that was kind of fun. One of them slipped accidentally cut part of her material in the wrong spot, and so we put a little Mickey Mouse patch through, and it looks like he's looking through a window. So that was really kind of fun to show her that things can turn out okay even if they're not the original plan. What else did I do? Big change. I read The 4-Hour Body by Tim Ferriss, which I talked about a little bit before my hiatus, I think, and I used to the idea of the slow carb diet, which is a very strict diet and then one enormous cheat day. So I did that pretty steady for about 3.5, 4 weeks, and then that got very quickly unraveled by not being in charge of my own meals with camp and vacationing and things. So I quit that for a little bit, and I will be getting back on the train in the next couple weeks because I really did think that was working really well for me. I felt a lot healthier. I did notice myself changing my attitudes about food. So those are some other big things that happened this summer. So that is kind of, I think there's a lot going on. I worked on my reading sketchbook, which I will show you in another video as well. I'm almost finished with catching up that. So I would love to know in the comments below, what did you guys do this summer? Did you guys have any medical emergencies? I hope not. Did you have any camps or good vacations? Any homeschool things that you learned or thought about or want to change for the next year? Any reading things? How many of you have been in a reading slump that lasted about as long as mine did? I would love to know in the comments below that I'm not alone on that one. And I will do better about posting and commenting and responding. Life just kind of blew up for a little bit. So I will talk to you all later. Bye.